in a place called New Spain in South America. In the year 1664, there was a kind woman named Juana and her husband Miguel. They had a 4-year-old daughter called Mariana. Often during the afternoons, Juana and her family would walk in the woods exploring. Juana says, "Isn't this lovely out in the woods today?" Mariana says, "Yes, I love walking in the woods, watching the animals and birds." Just then, Mariana saw a little young bird who looked lost and rather sad. Mariana says, Mama, Papa, I can see a bird and it's not looking happy. I need to help it." Miguel says, "Oh, Mariana, don't worry about it. It'll be fine." Juana says, "Miguel, let her help the lost bird." Miguel says, "Oh, all right then. Off you go, Mariana. See if you can help the little bird." Mariana went up to the bird and said, "Are you okay? Do you have a mama somewhere?" The bird nodded yes. So Mariana took it in her hands and set off to look for a lost bird's mother. A short while later, Mariana spotted the little bird's mum and dad. "Look, little bird, I can see your parents." The little bird was so happy the mother bird tweeted a thank you to Mariana. Now Mariana wasn't sure where her parents were by now, so the birds decided to help her in return. The birds flew around and Mariana followed them. Before long she was back with her parents. "Mariana," Juana says, "there you are. Did you help the little bird?" Mariana says, "Yes, mother. I found his parents and then the birds led me back to you." Miguel says, "Well, Mariana, when you do good things for others, often good things happen to you." The bird family followed Mariana and her parents to their home. They built a nest next to their house where Juana's mother Eva would visit them every day, bringing fresh seeds and grapes. The bird family was so happy they told other birds, who in turn decided to build nests around Mariana's home. Soon, Mariana had a garden full of beautiful birds. 15 years later, Mariana was now 19. This was her beautiful home set in the woodland valley. In the spring of 1679, on a lovely warm day, Mariana went to a garden with a bucket of grapes to give to the birds. All the birds in their garden loved grapes. Mariana had a shiny red apple for herself. Mariana called the birds with a whistle. "I got lots of grape treats for you." The birds saw her with a bucket which she placed on the floor, and then sat down beside it. The birds flocked around her, then settled to eat the grapes while Mariana ate her apple. Then Mariana noticed three little birds who were triplets, having trouble getting any grapes, as all the other birds were bigger and were pushing past them. So Mariana took 3 grapes and gently gave them one each. When the birds were all fed and satisfied, Mariana sat on the garden bench to chat with one bird that had become very special to her. That bird's name was Penolo. Mariana says, "Hey Penolo, isn't the air so nice out here today?" Penolo tweeted and nodded yes. Then she said, "So I was going to say to you, it was such a wonderful thing that day when all the birds decided to live in my grandmother's garden after I helped your father find his parents when I was a child. It was like a wonderful gift to her. The birds are so happy that he and I made a best friend in you and your sister Rosie." Penolo tweeted back to her telling her how pleased his family were with their new home. In the afternoon, while Penolo went back to his mum and his siblings, Mariana went to sit with her family for dinner. They were having mincemeat soup. Whilst they were having their dinner, Juana was asking her daughter how she was getting on. Juana says, "So, Mariana, have the birds been enjoying their grape treats?" Mariana says, "Yes, they love grapes. It's their favourite food." Juana turned to Miguel and chat during dinner, while Mariana, Esther and Theo finished their soup. Juana says, "So, Miguel, what have you been up to today?" Miguel says, "Oh, you know, I've heard there is going to be a contest between a bull and an eagle at the stadium tomorrow." Juana says, "Oh, maybe we should go and take a look. Maybe Mariana would like to watch it with us. Mariana says, I'm sorry, Mum, you were saying something about an eagle and a bull? Juana says, yes, we should go and cheer for the eagle to win, but if it looks like a bull is going to win, I maybe have to leave early. Mariana says, well, yes, the eagle is like a king of the birds. I would like to see him win, but who knows? The bull is very strong. Then Theo asks Esther to make a guess as to whom would win. Esther says, I don't even know yet. Theo says, might be the bull. Esther says, or maybe the eagle. Theo says, yes, well, the bull is so strong. Esther says, nah, probably the eagle is, as he is too fast and can fly. Miguel says, okay, well, tomorrow we shall find out. A few hours later, just before bedtime, Mariana went outside to say goodnight to all the birds. Mariana could see Penolo getting ready for bed and said, Hey Penolo, how you doing? Penolo tweeted to say he had a great day. To help the birds get to sleep, Mariana sung an incredibly beautiful Spanish lullaby. My sweet and precious little birds, my sweet and precious little babies, Penolo, dear fellow of mine, Penolo, my favorite of all time. In my heart and soul, I love you so. Sleep well, sweet dreams. Now I must go. Mariana said goodnight to all the birds and went back into the house to take herself to bed. At the same time, somewhere in the dark side of the spirit world, Lama Sabio's evil sister Malvado was gazing into a crystal skull where she saw Mariana. Yes, run back inside, little princess. I cannot stand that sister of mine doing all her good deeds and taking care of those stupid birds that she is so obsessed about. I may not be able to hurt my sister directly, but I could steal away her beloved grandchild, Mariana. Yes, that's it. I will steal away Mariana and lock her into the dark side of the spirit world. Or even better, I will turn her to my evil ways and make her my own goddaughter. Then I will turn her and my minions to my feeble sister and take her palace from her. The next day, Miguel, Juana, Esther and Theo were all getting ready to go to a stadium to see the contest between the bull and eagle. While Mariana was getting ready, she said to Penolo and the rest of the birds, Hey everyone, I'm going to a stadium to watch the eagle defeat a bull. Penolo knew that the eagle was a mighty bird, and so asked Mariana if he could go with them to see it. Mariana says, Are you sure, Penolo? I'll have to ask my mother if you can come with us to the stadium. Mariana asked her mum, and Juana thought that it would be okay. So, Penolo sat on Mariana's shoulder and the family set off in the carriage to travel to the stadium. They finally arrived at the stadium and took their seats along with the other spectators. The bull was inside his enclosure, on the edge of the arena. On the opposite side, the eagle was in his enclosure. The gates opened and the bull and eagle charged to the center of the arena, where they slowed and stared at each other. The eagle clutching a red and gold cape in its claws. The contest was to begin. Juana says, Oh my, well, here we go. The bull let out a snort and charged. But the eagle flew high, avoiding the bull's attack, and screeched at his opponent. Theo says, Whoa! This is amazing! Miguel says, I know, this is so good. Mariana stared at the eagle and cheered, Come on, you can do this! The bull stared at the eagle again and prepared to charge again. The eagle readied himself, clutching his cape. This time, as the bull charged, the eagle released the cape, which landed on the bull's head. The bull, now unable to see, charged into the side of the arena, bumping his head. The eagle had won the first. Of the 3-round competition, Mariana and her family were enjoying the contest, especially as the eagle won the second round as well. The final round began. Again, the bull charged and the eagle dodged by flying above him, but on the third charge the eagle was too slow. The bull hit him hard. Penolo gasped as he watched the bull hit the eagle, fearing for the eagle's life. And in the panic, with no regard for his own safety, Penolo decided to try to help the eagle. Mariana gasped nervously. "Penolo, what are you doing?" She shouted to her mum. "Penolo's trying to help the eagle. I need to help him." Juana says, "No, Mariana, you mustn't go into the arena. The bull will attack you if you do. It's too dangerous." Mariana let out a sigh and agreed not to enter. The bull saw Penolo land by the eagle's side and prepared to charge. The eagle recovered from the bull's blow. Clutching his cape, he took Penolo on his back and launched into the sky, narrowly missing the charge. With a swoop, the eagle turned and dropped the cape on the bull's head again to win the final round. With the contest now over, the eagle returned Penolo to Mariana, who was so relieved he was safe. Juana says, "Oh, Mariana, is Penolo all right?" Mariana says, "Yes, Mama, I think so." Miguel was not happy that Penolo entered the arena, and was very cross with Mariana as he thought that she had told Penolo to assist the eagle. Back at their house, Mariana went to take Penolo into a garden. Penolo chirped an apology to her. Mariana says, "Yes, it's okay. I'm sorry too." Miguel called Mariana back into the house. He was still furious and said, "Mariana, I can't believe you put Penolo in danger by asking him to enter the arena." Mariana says, "But Papa, it was Penolo himself who decided to try and help the eagle." Juana says, "Miguel, Mariana, what is going on?" Mariana says, "I want my father to believe me that Penolo took that risk on his own, and it wasn't me." Juana says, "Mariana, I believe you." "I want your father to believe you too." Mariana says, "You see, Papa, my mother knows. Please will you believe me?" Miguel says, "Mariana, for the last time, I know it was you, and you can never take Penolo out with you again." Mariana was shocked and ran out into the garden in tears. Juana says, "Miguel, what did you do? Please don't say things like that to her. You know she loves Penolo so much. She would never put him at risk." Miguel starts to feel bad for what he had said to Mariana. Miguel says, "Yes, Juana, I guess you're right, and I was just so afraid for Penolo, and I got angry. What can I do to make it up to Mariana?" In the garden, Mariana sat at the foot of a tree, feeling depressed. Penolo chirped to Mariana to ask her what was wrong. Mariana says, "Oh, Penolo, this is so bad. Papa is so cross and he won't believe me. He has forbidden me to take you out of the garden on my own ever again." Penolo sat on Mariana's shoulder and nuzzled into her to try to make her feel better. Suddenly, an owl landed on the grass in front of them. Mariana says, "Oh, you are a beautiful owl. I have not seen you before." The owl hooted to Mariana and said that she had overheard her conversation with Penolo. The owl was sorry that Mariana was so sad and said that she could help her feel happy again. The owl says, "Mariana, come over here with me to the garden wall." Secretly, the owl passed a feather over a medallion on its chest to open the dark portal gateway on the wall. As the portal opened, Mariana was dragged inside. Mariana says, "Oh no, what's going on? Penolo, help!" Penolo flew to help Mariana but was dragged into a portal as well. As a portal was closing, Miguel and Juana appeared in the garden looking for Mariana, but the first thing they saw was an owl wearing a medallion. To their shock, the owl started to shapeshift. It was not really an owl. It was a disguise used by a dark and menacing goddess known as Malvador. Malvador says, "Finally, at long last, I have her and her precious little birdie as well." As Mariana disappeared through the gateway, Joanna says, "Oh no, Mariana, where are you going?" Miguel says, "Oh, Juana, I think a demon has taken her." When Joanna realized what had happened, she cried and hugged Miguel. At the same time, Rosie sadly hugged Mother Annabel as they and the triplets, Nonny, Tu and Jock, were shocked and they were sad that Penolo and Mariana are gone. Mariana and Penolo were transported to the spirit world and into a layer of Malvador. At the same time, Malvador appeared standing in front of the steps. Malvador says, "Ah, if it isn't the little Princess Mariana, it's so wonderful to have you here. We are going to have a lovely time together." Mariana says, "Oh, sorry, I'm not a princess." Malvador says, "Oh, nonsense, you aren't me, my lovely, and it's so nice that you have brought a beautiful little bird with you." Malvador turned to her henchman and said, "El Jago, see how beautiful she is?" El Jago says, "Oh, wow, is that a living person you've been talking about? She is gorgeous." El Jago tried to kiss Mariana, but she turned away in shock and disgust. Malvador says, "El Jago, mind your manners. Mariana here is our guest." El Jago says, "Oh, forgive me, your highness, I meant no disrespect." As he continued to stare at Mariana with a smile on his face. Malvador says, "Now, where was I? Oh, yes, Mariana, your father blamed you for what happened at the arena, but your mother believed you, and so the two of them argued. I know that has made you very sad. No need to be sad anymore, though I am certain you will be so happy here with me. I'll make an announcement to my minions, the gargoyles, to introduce you." Malvador turned to the gargoyles and said, "My minions, we have a person from the world of the living, the beautiful Mariana. Welcome her into our realm. She is one of us now." In unison, the gargoyles cheered loudly. Mariana became very afraid. She didn't want to stay here. She just wanted to go back home. Penolo told her they must find a way out. While Malvador was addressing her minions, Mariana and Penolo slipped away unseen. Malvador, having finished her speech, turned to Mariana only to find she had gone. Malvador turned to El Jago and said, "Where's Mariana?" El Jago says, "What? Where? I don't know." Gulp! Malvador grabbed him by the neck and lifted him off his feet and said, "You should have watched her, you fool! Where is she?" El Jago says, Whoa, I didn't see anything. I am so sorry." Malvador says, "You idiot! I was going to turn that little brat to our dark ways and have her help me rule the spirit land, and now she ran away. Where is Mariana?" El Jago says, "Okay, maybe her bird helped her get away, but who knows? I'm sure she'll come back. There's nowhere else for her to go. Please, don't hurt me, Your Highness. Seriously, guys, what do you think?" Other gargoyle says, "Yes, yeah, definitely she is sure to return. All will be well, Your Highness." Malvador puts him down and said, "You had better be right, fool, or you will pay. We will find her and go ahead with our plan. Soon the land of the living will feel the wrath of the dead. I will have my sister on her knees begging for mercy." Mariana and Penolo managed to slip away from Malvador and found themselves alone in a quiet corner of the spirit world. Mariana sat anxiously on the rock. She said, "Oh, Penolo, I can't believe this. This isn't really happening." Mariana sighed, feeling quite sad. Mariana started singing a song. "My sweet and precious little Penolo, my sweet and precious little Penolo, may we return home. Penolo, my fellow of mine, Penolo, you are my dearest friend. With all our hearts and souls, we love each other so. May we return home together and free again." Mariana began to cry. Penolo felt sad too, because they were trapped in the spirit world. Mariana stopped crying and said to Penolo, "We need to find a way out of here. That horrible demon banished us here. But as long as we believe in Lama Sabio, we could find a way out. We must find her and she will help us get back home. Come on, Penolo. So Mariana and Penolo began their search for the goddess called Lama Sabio. After some time they came across a golden palace surrounded by narrow streets filled with spirit people. This place looked a lot nicer than the part of the spirit world where Malvado lived. Then finally they saw a beautiful woman that could only have been the goddess, Lama Sabio, walking in one of the streets. Mariana called to her. Lama Sabio heard someone calling her name. She looked around to see who it was and was surprised to see a young girl and a bird from the land of the living. They should not have been here in the spirit world. She recognized her goddaughter Mariana and rushed to greet her. Hello, Lama Sabio says. Mariana, what are you doing here wandering around the spirit world? Mariana says, You're at Lama Sabio. Lama Sabio says, Yes, of course it's me, and you are my goddaughter Mariana. Mariana says, Oh, I am so pleased we have found you. We need help to get back home. Lama Sabio says, Yes, Mariana, I will help you get back to the land of the living. You should not be here. Your family will be missing you so much. Penolo chirped hello. Lama Sabio says, Hey, you must be Mariana's cute buddy. Hello, Penolo. It's so lovely to meet you. Mariana began to tell a story of how she came into the spirit world. She told Lama Sabio about the owl she saw in her garden and how it used a magic necklace to open the portal into the spirit world. Sabio says, Oh, Mariana, I am really very sorry to hear of what has happened to you. I think I know who is responsible for this. Do you know who this is? Mariana says, No, who is it? Lama Sabio says, She is a dark queen of the spirit world, and she is my sister. Her name is Malvado, goddess of mischief. Mariana was shocked to hear this, and she said, Oh no! Malvado told me that she wanted me to join her in ruling the dark side of the spirit world. I feel so afraid. Lama Sabio says, Well, you've been very brave getting away from her, but you can't get home on your own, so follow me. I will show you the way. So Mariana and Penolo followed Lama Sabio to her palace. As they walked, Lama Sabio told Mariana how she had been taking care of her grandparents after they had died. Mariana says, Oh, I do miss them. Lama Sabio says, But you'll get to see them again. Would you like to see them now before you return to the land of the living? Mariana says, Oh, yes, that would be great. Penolo chirped in agreement. Lama Sabio says, Oh, and I have something here that I'm sure Penolo would love to see. It's a rainforest filled with the most beautiful birds. I'll show you where it is after we meet your grandparents. Mariana says, Wow, that would be amazing. They all went to a special house in one of the streets near Lama Sabio's palace to visit Mariana's grandparents. They were called Eva, Marco, Cleo, and Joaquin. Lama Sabio says, Okay, Mariana and Penolo, here they are. Lama Sabio let Mariana open the door, and Eva saw her. Eva says, Is this my granddaughter? Mariana says, Grandmother Eva, it's so lovely to see you again. This is amazing. Eva was so happy to see her granddaughter. Marco, Cleo, and Joaquin were delighted to see her also. Marco says, Well, if it isn't Mariana, you have come to visit us. Mariana says, Yes, I can't believe this. Cleo says, Neither can I. You're such a good young lady, aren't you? Joaquin says, So, you've come to visit us in our new home in the spirit world. Mariana says, Well, and it's thanks to Lama Sabio. Isn't this wonderful, Penolo? Penolo chirped happily. Then Lama Sabio said, So, Mariana, we could stay for dinner if you like. Then we could go show Penolo the rainforest. Mariana says, Yes, that would be wonderful. They all talked for a while when it was dinner time. Mariana and her grandparents sat at the table. Mariana was sitting next to Lama Sabio, who had prepared dinner for them all. Lama Sabio says, "Okay, what we have here is mincemeat veggie salad on a nice pita bread bowl." Mariana says, "Oh, Lama Sabio, this is amazing. I never tried food like this before. Perhaps Penolo can try a bit, right?" Lama Sabio says, "Don't forget to eat the salad, everyone." With the salad all gone, Mariana took a bite of the pita bread bowl and said, "This is good. I love it. Thank you so much." Lama Sabio says, "You're welcome. It's a lot like Yorkshire pudding." Mariana gave a little piece of bread to Penolo. Penolo tried it and loved it as well. Eva says, "Oh, Mariana, your bird liked it." Mariana says, "Thanks, Grandmother Eva." Marco says, "So, are you going to tell us how you found yourself in the spirit world?" Mariana wasn't sure, as she started to feel sad again when she thought about what had happened. So, Lama Sabio saw she was unhappy and so thought she would tell a story herself. "Oh, yes, Mariana told me what happened. My sister captured her and brought her here. But luckily, Mariana got away from her. Then she came searching for me to help her get home. Then I brought her here to see you all before she returns to a land of the living." Mariana says, "Yes. How can I get back home?" Lama Sabio says, "This can be tricky, but there is a way for you to get back." Mariana says, "What do you mean?" Lama Sabio told Mariana, Penolo, and the grandparents about her sister Malvado and how she wanted to control a spirit world all for herself and turned it into an evil place. Malvado discovered that Mariana is my goddaughter and decided to use a magic medallion that would take her from her world and bring her here, where she planned to turn Mariana into a dark side, knowing that this would hurt and weaken me, making it easier for her to control a spirit world. The medallion doesn't belong to Malvado. She stole it from Goddess Tonantzin. We will need to defeat Malvado and return the medallion to Tonantzin, who will then be able to return Mariana to a living world." Mariana says, "Oh my goodness, I know you could help us get home, but it does sound dangerous." Joaquin says, "How can we help?" Lama Sabio says, "There is nothing anyone else can do. I must do this alone with Mariana." Mariana says, "But first we are going to visit a rainforest, aren't we?" Lama Sabio says, "Oh yes, just as soon as we have finished dinner." With dinner over, Lama Sabio took Mariana and Penolo to a rainforest. It was a long way away, and so it took a while to get there. The entrance was hidden in some thick bushes. Mariana pushed through the leaves and branches, and in front of her she saw a wonderful sight. She said, "Oh my goodness! This place is beautiful! This is like a wonderful dream I had." Penolo chirped happily and flew around the trees. Mariana ran into a forest and said, "Hey, Penolo, where are you going?" But instead of chasing after him, she ran around the trees in the forest. The birds who lived in the forest were very friendly. They flew up to Mariana and landed on both of her arms. Mariana sighed happily and said, "I can't believe this. I feel like I'm inside this dream of mine." Lama Sabio says, "I know. I knew you would like it. I can see Penolo finding lots of new friends around here. It's got lots of trees covered in different types of delicious fruit." Mariana says, "That's wonderful. I hope I dream of this place again when me and Penolo are back home." Lama Sabio says, "Of course you want to go home. You miss your family, don't you?" Mariana says, "Yes, I do. Will you be able to take me home soon?" Lama Sabio says, "All in good time. First, we must return the medallion to Tonantzin. Then she can open the gateway back to your world." Mariana says, "Oh, I hope so." Lama Sabio says, "Well, for now at least enjoy this beautiful forest. I will leave you here as I need to return home now." Mariana and Penolo went off to explore and meet the birds of the forest. After lots of the forest and meeting new birds, it was time for Mariana and Penolo to return to Lama Sabio's house. Mariana says, "Hello, Lama Sabio, we're back." Lama Sabio says, "Hello, Mariana and Penolo. Did you have fun?" Mariana says, "It was wonderful. If we have time, we would love to go back tomorrow." Penolo nodded and tweeted in agreement. Later that evening, Lama Sabio showed Mariana and Penolo where they could sleep. Sabio says, "But before bed, would you like to go and say goodnight to your grandparents?" Mariana went to her grandparents. They all hugged and said goodnight. Then it was time to go. Lama Sabio showed them where they would sleep that night. Lama Sabio says, "Here we are. It's a very comfy bed for you, and for Penolo, there's a nest-shaped bed that is very cozy." Mariana says, "Oh, Lama Sabio, thank you so much. You have taken good care of us." Mariana climbed into bed while Penolo settled into the nest next to Mariana's pillow. Then Mariana says, "Well, good night, Lama Sabio." Lama Sabio says, "Good night, Mariana. Sleep well. We have a big day tomorrow." Sabio left them to sleep and went off to her home. At the same time, back in the world of the living, Miguel and Juana set up a chair, and they put a portrait of their daughter on it and lit up candles in the hope that a miracle would bring back Mariana. Esther and Theo were with them and prayed for her return. Annabelle, Penolo's mother, was tearfully sad, and were his siblings, Rosie and the triplets. They all missed Penolo and Mariana so much. Esther says, "Mama, what are you doing?" Juana says, "We're hoping for a miracle to bring your sister back to us." Theo says, "Oh, I hope she comes home soon." Juana says, "You know, we have Lama Sabio to believe in." Miguel says, "Yes, Sabio took care of my mother and my father when they passed away. I think Lama Sabio is the only way for Mariana to return." They went back into a house to pray in the garden. The candles glowed softly while they waited and hoped for a miracle. Come morning in the spirit world, Mariana woke up and greeted Penolo. "Good morning, Penolo." She stroked his beak. He woke up and smiled. As soon as they were dressed, they went to see her grandparents and Sabio. Lama Sabio says, "Oh, good morning, Mariana. Did you have a good sleep with Penolo?" Mariana says, "Yes, we slept better knowing we are safe with you." Lama Sabio says, "Yes, you are safe with me. It was good to see that you really enjoyed the rainforest yesterday." Mariana says, "Yes, I would love to go there again." Eva spoke to Mariana. "My dear Mariana, I wonder if the birds in the forest would give flowers for your hair." Mariana says, "Really? That would be great." Lama Sabio says, "That's a good idea, Eva. Mariana would look lovely with flowers in her hair." Lama Sabio, Mariana and Penolo went to a rainforest again to find flowers for Mariana's hair. Mariana whistled to call the birds to her. They answered her call, even some of the younger birds. Mariana told the birds about Eva's idea for a new hairstyle, and she asked them to gather flowers for her. The birds flew off to see what they could find. Soon the birds returned and decorated Mariana's hair with the flowers they had found. Penolo placed the last flower. It was a red rose. Lama Sabio thought Mariana's hair looked beautiful and suggested she could take a look at her reflection in the lake. Mariana looked in the lake and said, "Oh my goodness, my hair looks amazing." Then she thanked the birds. Lama Sabio suggested to Mariana that she might like a new dress to match her hair. She could conjure one up using her magic. Mariana was excited at the idea. Lama Sabio says, "I have in mind the perfect dress. It's one I know you have always dreamed of. Here we go." Lama Sabio used her hands to create magic dust, which flowed all around Mariana and made her glow. As the dust disappeared, she was left wearing a lovely new gold and pink dress. Lama Sabio says, "There we go. What do you think?" Mariana looked at her reflection in the lake again and said, "Oh my, I love it! Thank you so much, Lama Sabio." Sabio says, "You're welcome. Now then, why don't you go and show your grandparents your new dress?" When they got back to the village, Eva, Marco, Cleo, and Joaquin saw Mariana in her new dress. Eva says, "Oh, Mariana, you look so beautiful." Mariana says, "Oh, thank you, Grandmother Eva." Marco says, "Wow, your dress is quite spectacular." Mariana says, "Yes, it is, Grandfather Marco." Lama Sabio says, "Well, before I send you home, I would like to show you some things here in the spirit world." So, Mariana, Penolo, Lama Sabio, and the grandparents all set off together. Meanwhile, El Jago was playing checkers with his friends when Malvado called to him. El Jago says, "Oh, I think that's our lovely boss calling me. Excuse me, guys, I'll be right back." He went straight to Malvado, and she said, "I have something to say." El Chaco says, "Yes, have you? I haven't done anything wrong, have I? So, what are you going to tell me, Malvado says, "I see something interesting in my crystal skull. Come and look. It's that girl Mariana and her little pigeon. They appear to be staying with my sister Sabio." El Chaco says, "Oh yeah, she's the one who ran away from you. So, what should we do, Malvado says, "I must have her. She'll be turned to our dark ways. Bring her to me, and make sure she never runs away again." El Jago says, "Well, my mission is about to begin." El Jago told his gargoyle friends about his task. "We will finish our game of checkers later. I must go to Sabio's village to find that kid. And her parrot thing." Mariana and her grandparents were touring the spirit world and were talking about all the wonderful things they had seen. Grandmother Eva asked Mariana if she had ever imagined herself as a bird, maybe like Penolo. Mariana says, "I have done sometimes." Eva says, "Ah, interesting. Well, there is a potion here that could do that for you for a short while." Mariana says, "Really? Sabio, where can we find such a potion that would turn me into a bird?" Lama Sabio says, "Well, I would have to make it. Follow me and I will show you." So Sabio, Mariana, and Penolo went to a magical potion cauldron to make Mariana a special bird potion. Mariana says, "Okay, so what do we need to make this potion?" Lama Sabio says, "All we need is 3 grapes, an apple, a bit of bird seed. All go into a cauldron with this magic liquid." When the potion was complete, Sabio poured it into a little bottle and handed it to Mariana. Lama Sabio says, "Here you are, Mariana. Put this somewhere safe. It will be there for you should you ever need it." Mariana says, "Okay, thank you so much, Sabio. What's next on our tour?" Lama Sabio says, "Now it is time for us to go and meet Tonantzin. We need to tell her that we intended to send you home. To do that, we will need the medallion from Malvado." They went to go see Tonantzin, the goddess of earth. Lama Sabio says, "Hello, Tonantzin. It's so lovely to see you again." Tonantzin says, "Lama Sabio, it's always a pleasure to meet you." Tonantzin saw Mariana and said, "Hello, young one. You must be Mariana, and who is your feathered friend?" Mariana says, "It's an honor to meet you. This is my bird friend, Penolo." Lama Sabio says, "Tonantzin, Mariana and Penolo belong in the land of the living. They are here because my sister stole your medallion and used it to drag her into the spirit world. Malvado wants to turn Mariana into her evil ways to help her take over the entire spirit land. Thankfully, Mariana escaped from her and came looking for me, as I am her godmother." Tonantzin says, "So, your sister used my medallion to bring a living person here?" Lama Sabio says, "Yes, and I intend to recover your medallion so we can send Mariana home. Tonantzin says, "Very well. Now then, Mariana, I am sorry you have been brought here against your will, but I hope your visit here has not been entirely unpleasant." Mariana thought for a while, then said, "Well, I do really miss my family, but when I met Sabio, she showed me a wonderful rainforest with some beautiful birds. They decorated my hair with pretty flowers. It was also lovely to meet my grandparents, but I do really want to go home." Tonantzin says, "We will send you home, young lady, but first I have arranged an eagle race which I must attend to. Come and watch." So Mariana and her group went off to watch the eagle race. Competing in the race were 6 magnificent-looking eagles. The race took place every year, and the winner would get to choose the best hunting ground in the spirit world. Given Mariana's love of birds, Sabio was sure she would enjoy the race. Mariana says, "Wow, I haven't seen anything like this before with eagles." Lama Sabio says, "Are you ready, Mariana? The race is about to begin. In 3, 2, 1, go!" The eagles launched into the air and took off at great speed. Around the course they raced. No one eagle seemed to be faster than the others. Then in the final lap, the golden eagle beat its powerful wings hard and just crossed the finish line ahead of the others. Everyone cheered. Mariana says, "Wow! That was amazing! Thank you, Tonantzin, for letting me watch." Penolo enjoyed it as well. Mariana went to congratulate the winning eagle. "Oh, hello there. Well done, you are magnificent." Penolo sat on the eagle's head and chirped a hello. With the race over, it was time to think about getting Mariana home. Sabio thought that taking Mariana back to Malvado's lair would be too dangerous. Lama Sabio says, "Mariana, I am going to take you back to the rainforest. You will be safe there while I seek out Malvado and recover the medallion. I don't want to risk you falling back into her hands, so I must do this alone. Once I return the medallion to Tonantzin, she will then use it to return you to your home." Sabio escorted Mariana to the safety of the forest, then bade her farewell as she set off on her quest for the medallion. Mariana says, "Good luck, Sabio. I will see you soon." Mariana and Penolo waited patiently in the rainforest. They relaxed and watched the birds. After a while, Mariana heard an odd noise coming from some nearby bushes. She and Penolo went to investigate. She saw someone in the bushes. Someone she recognized. It was El Jago. "Well, look who we have here!" Mariana gasped as El Jago threw a net over her and captured her and Penolo. He bundled them both in a sack and set off to return to his mistress. "Mariana has been kidnapped." Finally, El Jago got back to Malvado in her palace with Mariana inside a sack. El Jago says, "Hey, Malvado! Looks like we have a delivery for you." At which point, he opened the bag and Mariana and Penolo tumbled onto the floor. Malvado says, "Good work! At last, she's back to join me. And what are those ridiculous things in your hair, and what is this pitiful-looking dress you are wearing?" Mariana says, "Oh, those are flowers in my hair, and this lovely dress was given to me by Sabio." Malvado says, "Well, let me tell you, you don't look anything like yourself, do you?" Mariana says, "What do you mean? I look fine. What's wrong with it?" Malvado disliked Mariana's bright and cheerful look. Malvado waved her hands in the air and used her dark magic to change Mariana's look. The flowers wilted away. The lovely yellow dress disappeared, and Mariana's look was returned to normal, to how she was when she first arrived in the spirit world. El Jago says, "Okay, that looks much better without that lousy dress." Mariana was shocked at what Malvado did and said, "Oh no, my dress, my hairstyle, They have gone. Malvado says, don't you see? Lama Sabio isn't with you anymore. And so now it's my turn. Now come along with me. We are going to have so much fun. Mariana did not think so and said, no. Malvado says, what? And Mariana says, I know what you're trying to do to me, she said angrily. Malvado says, Mariana, don't you talk to me like that, you little brat. Mariana says, why shouldn't I? You took me away from my home, didn't you? Malvado says, yes, I did, because I needed you to join me and help me rule this world. Mariana says, no, you cannot just kidnap people and make them do what you want. I will never be your slave. Then she pushed Malvado very hard. The dark goddess became very angry and said, all right, you have your last chance. I will have you punished and locked away as my prisoner forever. She grabbed Mariana's arm and took her to a dungeon. But Penolo was hiding, and in her rage, Malvado had forgotten about him. Penolo saw, lying on the ground, Mariana's bird potion that was given to her by Sabio. Quickly, he swooped down and picked the potion up with his claws, whilst watching where Malvado was taking his friend. Poor Mariana was now locked inside a dark and damp dungeon. She sat down, hugging her legs, lowered her head to her knees, and started to weep. Penolo was watching, and as soon as Malvado had left, he gave out a little chirp. Mariana looked up and, wiping her tears away, and said, oh, my dear little friend, you're still here, and you have got my potion. Penolo flew inside her prison cell and gave her the potion, and they both hugged each other. Oh, Penolo, thank you so much, she said. She would drink the potion, turn into a bird, then they could both fly free, away from this horrid place. Mariana opened the lid and drank the whole potion in one gulp. Immediately, the transformation began. Mariana magically transformed into a bird, the same kind as Penolo. Mariana says, I can't believe it! I'm a bird! And now that she was a bird, she could understand Penolo speaking. And he said, Mariana, are you feeling okay? Mariana says, Penolo, I can hear you talk. Penolo says, yes, humans don't really understand bird language, but you do understand me now. Mariana says, yes, I think I'm ready to fly away from this prison, but I need your help. You will have to show me. Penolo beat his wings quickly, and Mariana copied. Soon her feet left the ground, and she began to fly. I'm flying! I can fly! Penolo says, well done! I'm so proud of you. You can fly as well as any bird. Mariana says, and I'm so proud of you too. Thanks to you we can escape from this place. She kissed him on the cheek, and he smiled. Then Penolo said, all right, Mariana, let's get out of here. Together they flew through the bars of the dungeon cell and were free. Meanwhile, Sabio arrived at Malvado's palace to confront her sister. Malvado says, ah, well, if it isn't my big sister, Lama Sabio, no doubt you are here to talk to me about the brat. Lama Sabio says, Malvado, we need to talk. Malvado says, oh yes, go on then, tell me what is it you want. Lama Sabio says, you stole a medallion from Tonantzin and used it to open the portal to transport a young girl called Mariana from the land of the living, a spirit world. I am here to recover the medallion and send Mariana home. Malvado says, you know what? I don't think so. I have locked her away in a dungeon in the depths of my palace. You can't get to her without a fight. Sabio became very cross and said, you cannot imprison her. I intend to send her home. Malvado says, oh, all right then. Let's see what you have got, sister. The gargoyles closed in on Sabio. Malvado snapped her fingers and the gargoyles prepared to attack. At that moment, Penolo appeared and chirped loudly, distracting the gargoyles. Lama Sabio says, Penolo, is that you? Penolo chirped to her and pointed with his wing at Mariana. Both birds tweeted and landed in Sabio's hands. Lama Sabio says, Mariana, you're a bird. Mariana chirped with joy. El Jago burst out laughing and said, The girl turned into a bird! Oh, that is absolutely freaky! Malvado knew that a purple bird was her and started to weave her hands to conjure dark magic to attack Mariana. A dark bolt of energy shot towards Mariana, but Sabio blocked her attack with a bolt of light magic. Mariana and Penolo flew at the gargoyles to draw them away from Sabio. El Jago and the two other gargoyles tried to grab the birds. El Jago says, Catch those two flying pigeons! But as the birds flew around them, the three gargoyles bumped into each other. El Jago says, Oof! Hey, which way you going? Gargoyle 1 says, Sorry about that. Those two flying pests are too fast. Gargoyle 2 says, Yeah, but I just hope they don't poop on us. Sabio and Malvado continued to fire magic bolts at each other. Sabio glanced at the birds to check they were okay, giving Malvado an advantage, which she immediately took. Malvado hit Sabio with a powerful bolt of energy that locked her in a stone trap. Mariana says, Sabio, no! Lama Sabio says, Mariana, Penolo, I'm trapped. I'm afraid I can't help recover the medallion. You will have to do this on your own. Mariana says, What? Why? Lama Sabio says, You know what you have to do. The medallion is around Malvado's neck. You must take it from her. Penolo says, She's right. We have to do this. It's the only way to get home. Mariana and Penolo flew at Malvado. Suddenly, right in front of her, Malvado conjured up a large pool of glowing green ooze and said to Mariana, You should have joined with me when you could. Now you will see what I can become. Malvado dived into the ooze backwards. When she emerged, she had been transformed into a giant raven and cackled madly. El Jago saw her and said, Oh, crud! As he and the other gargoyles ran off afraid for their lives. Malvado says, Yes! I can feel the power of the raven flowing through me! The battle continued. Mariana and Penolo flew at the raven from different directions and tried to grab the medallion, but the raven was too fast and caught Mariana in her claws. Mariana says, Penolo, help! Penolo says, Mariana! Malvado says, You little fool, your time is up. You will have to try harder than that. Penolo became very angry and said, Yes, I will try harder, just for you. He flew like a speeding arrow and snatched the medallion from around her neck. Mariana was struggling to escape pushing hard against the raven's claws. As Penolo grabbed the medallion, the raven eased her grip and Mariana broke free. Penolo and Mariana passed the medallion to Lama Sabio. As it fell into her hand, the stone trap evaporated. Lama Sabio was free to use the power of the medallion to defeat Malvado and turn her back into her normal form. Malvado says, No! It can't be! How could you do this to me? Lama Sabio says, I did this for the good of my goddaughter. I will not have you turn her into her evil ways. Remain here in your dark lair and never come forth again. Lama Sabio, Mariana and Penolo left the lair, leaving Malvado growling in anger and frustration. All right, you win. I'm done. Having left Malvado's lair, Sabio held the medallion in her hand. Mariana says, "I can't believe we did it." Penolo says, "Neither can I. We're finally going home." Lama Sabio says, "Alright, Mariana, I'm going to have to change you back to your human form." Mariana and Penolo stepped onto a large rock. Mariana says, "Well, Penolo, I'm going to be a human again." Penolo says, "Yes, I know, but I will miss you being a bird." Mariana says, "I love you so much." She kissed his beak and they hugged each other. After that, Lama Sabio turned Mariana back into a human. Mariana looked at her normal human self and said, "It's done. I'm back to normal. Thank you, Lama Sabio." Lama Sabio says, "You are welcome, and soon we will have you safely home again." Mariana says, "Yes. Would it be alright if I can say goodbye to the birds in the rainforest before we go?" Lama Sabio says, "Of course you can." So they went to a rainforest. All the birds flocked around them, and they were happy because Mariana and Penolo were safe. Mariana says, "Hello again. I know, I'm okay." Then she explained, "Penolo and I must go now, but I will think about you all. I will see you all in my dreams." The birds chirped a farewell to them, and Penolo chirped farewell in return. Mariana says, "Goodbye, little friends. We will meet again one day." After saying their farewells to the birds, they went back to see Mariana's grandparents again. Grandmother Eva says, "Mariana, Lama Sabio, you got a medallion." Lama Sabio says, "Yes, I have, and we will return it to Tonantian." Mariana and her grandparents all had a farewell hug. Grandmother Cleo says, "My darling, take care." Mariana says, "You too." Then it was time to go and see Tonantian and return the medallion. Lama Sabio says, "Hello, Tonantian. We're back, and we have your medallion." "Oh, well done, and thank you so much." Lama Sabio says, "Mariana and Penolo, are you ready to go home?" Mariana says, "Yes, we are." As soon as Mariana handed the medallion back to Tonantian, it changed shape. It turned from an evil skull to a symbol of Earth. Tonantian used the medallion to open the portal and transported Mariana and Penolo back to their land. They would be returning to a garden at their home. As they were about to leave, Mariana said to Sabio, "You know, this place is wonderful. I guess I will be back here to see you again after I die." Lama Sabio says, "Yes, you and Penolo will return here when it is your time." Mariana gave Sabio a hug. Then she and Penolo passed through the portal and returned home. Mariana and Penolo were so happy to finally be back home. Mariana says, "Oh, Penolo, we're back! This is amazing!" Penolo chirped happily. When Penolo's bird family saw him, they flocked around to greet him. At the same time, Juana ran into a garden excited that her daughter had returned. Mariana says, "Mama, I'm back!" Mariana and Juana rushed to hug each other and they cried happy tears. Miguel saw what was happening and he too ran to greet his daughter and said, "Mariana, you've returned!" as he and Mariana hugged. Mariana says, "Oh, Papa, I am so happy to be home. I was taken to a spirit world and Penolo was with me. Oh, Papa, I have to say I'm so sorry for what happened with the eagle at the arena." However, Miguel knew that it wasn't really her fault. So he said, "No, Mariana, it wasn't your fault. I see that now." Mariana says, "What do you mean?" Miguel says, "Your mother and I discussed the matter, and I realized now Penolo tried to help the eagle on his own." Mariana says, "Yes, he's so brave and gentle, and I love him so much." Joanna says, "Yes, of course you do, and so do we. But that doesn't matter now we are so happy to have you home." Esther and Theo came into the garden to find their sister had returned. Theo says, "Mariana, there you are." Esther says, "Where have you been?" Mariana told her tale, but left out a part about Malvado as she didn't want to frighten them. She said, "I've been in the spirit world where Lamasabio lives, but she returned me and Penolo back here. We saw some amazing things. My favorite was the rainforest with lots of birds around." Esther and Theo were amazed to hear what she had to say about her adventure. Theo says, "Well, it sounds like a wonderful place." Esther says, "The rainforest sounds like a beautiful place." With the greeting done, the family went back inside the house. Mariana took a moment longer in the garden to listen to Penolo and his family chirp and sing their bird song. Mariana sang along with them. "My sweet and precious little Penolo, my sweet and precious little Penolo, we finally came back home. Penolo, my fellow of mine, Penolo, you are my dearest friend with all our heart and souls. We love each other so. Now we are finally home, together and free again." The birds enjoyed Mariana's song. Then she went inside the house with her family. Penolo and his bird family went back to their tree. Penolo watched Mariana go and smiled. 1 week later, Mariana's parents bought her a new dress from the market. She chose it as it was similar to the one she wore in the spirit world. Then she, Penolo, and her family went to a park filled with forest birds. Mariana says, "Wow, Mama, would you look at these birds around us?" Joanna says, "I know. I'm sure Penolo would like to meet them. It's good to make new friends." Penolo saw the birds and he flew up to greet them. A little later, Mariana met 3 of her friends called Bella, Gabriella, and Zoe. Mariana says, "Hello, dear friends." Bella says, "Hello, Mariana, how's it going?" Mariana says, "It's great. It's such a lovely surprise to see you all here." Penolo saw Mariana with her friends and decided to join them. Zoe says, "Wow, is this your pet bird?" Mariana says, "Yes, this is Penolo." Penolo chirped to say hello. Gabriella says, "Oh, he is so cute." Zoe says, "Hello, Penolo. How are you doing?" Mariana says, "He is so sweet. I love him so much. We've had many adventures together. He's so amazing, aren't you, Penolo?" Penolo chirped yes. The family and Mariana's friends had a wonderful day at the park. Meanwhile, Lama Sabio was looking on from the spirit world. She was so pleased to have Mariana and Penolo return back to the land of the living. She knows that they'll meet up with her when it's their time. In the year 2006, a man named Charlie and his wife named Martha had just retired from work and decided that they would like to get a dog. Charlie and Martha had a lovely home somewhere in the Midlands of England, with a nice big garden, which would be perfect for a dog. Charlie and Martha spent days talking about what kind of dog they would like, and if they should get a puppy, or maybe rescue an older dog. Eventually, they decided to check out some local rescue centres. Charlie decided to use his laptop to see what he could find. They found so many dogs in rescue. Martha felt so sorry that these poor dogs had been abandoned. After some time, Charlie had found what he was looking for. Charlie said, "Hey Martha, look at this. There are 2 German Shepherd puppies here that were born in rescue. They have never had a real home." Martha says, "Oh my, they are perfect. We wanted a puppy, but we also wanted to rescue, and they are so cute." Charlie says, "Oh wow, they are so lovely." Charlie read about the puppies. Their mum had been taken into rescue as she had found on the streets as a stray, and just weeks later gave birth to a litter of 2 puppies. The people at the rescue center named them Monty and Montana. Martha says, "They are very good names, aren't they?" Charlie says, "Yes. Why don't I give them a call and find out if the puppies are still available and ask how we got about adopting them?" Martha says, "Yes. Oh, I am so excited. We need to buy some things for them. Some nice comfortable beds and 2 lovely collars with their names on with matching leads." Martha kissed her husband's cheek, and then he called the rescue center. Charlie was told they could meet the puppies the next day. Then they would need a home check. Someone from the rescue would need to visit their home to make sure it was suitable, and if all were well, they would need to pay an adoption fee. Then they could pick up Monty and Montana. Charlie and Martha went to meet the puppies, and they were everything they had hoped for. Arrangements were made to have their home check carried out the same day. The rescue decided that the home was perfect for Monty and Montana, and the couple were told they would pick up the puppies the following day. Charlie and Martha were so excited they could barely sleep that evening. First thing in the morning, they went shopping to get some food and things for their dogs. Then they would go straight to a rescue center. Charlie said, "Hello there. We passed our home check yesterday and were told we could come to pick up the 2 German Shepherd puppies." Rescue man says, "Oh yes, you must be Charlie and Martha. Come this way and I'll show you where they are." He and Martha followed the man to see the twins. They entered a long corridor with cages on either side. Most of the cages had dogs of all different breeds inside, all waiting for someone to come and offer them a home. The man led the couple to a last cage on the left which contained the pups. Rescue man says, "All right, here they are." They're called Monty and his sister Montana. Charlie and Martha and Monty and Montana were so happy to see each other. Martha said, "Hello, Monty and Montana. How are you today?" Monty and Montana gave Martha and Charlie kisses to say hello. Rescue man says, "Well, it looks like they're happy to see you and are ready to go to their new home with." Charlie says, "Thank you so much for our new dogs. They will have a wonderful life with us." Charlie and Martha took Monty and Montana to their first ever home. When they got home, Charlie and Martha let the dogs into a house. The pups were so excited they ran into every room and explored the whole house. Charlie says, "Here we are, guys. Welcome to your new home." The twins were shown their new beds and were given some treats. Martha says, "Well, it looks like they are incredibly happy to be here, don't you think?" Charlie says, "Yeah, I think so. Their tails are wagging so hard they could fall off." Once the pups had finished exploring, they all settled in the living room. Charlie and Martha sat on the sofa and watched the puppies play. Later that evening, Charlie and Martha decided to take the twins outside into a garden to give them some fresh air, and to let them have a little toddle around. Monty and Montana had never had such a big space to play in. They chased each other around the garden. They had never set foot on grass before. Everything was so new and excited for them. Soon the pups were tired out and were ready for a nap on their bed. A few hours later, it was bedtime. The pups were worn out, having had a very busy and exciting day. Charlie and Martha had bought them a lovely big basket filled with nice cozy bedding. The bed was big enough for them both to snuggle up in. Charlie says, "Monty, Montana, come here. It's bedtime now." Monty and Montana walked in and lay down on the bed. Charlie says, "There you go." Martha says, "Charlie, don't you think they'll be all right sleeping in the living room?" Charlie says, "Of course they will." Martha turned to the twins and said, "Good night, Monty. Good night, Montana." Then Charlie said to them, "Have a good sleep. We have another exciting day tomorrow." Charlie and Martha left Monty and Montana in their living room and went upstairs to their bedroom. Montana snuggled into her brother. Monty says, "Hey Montana, I love it when you cuddle into me. This is a wonderful home we have now, sister. We have been so lucky." Montana says, "Yes, Monty, we will be very happy here." Soon the pups drifted up into a deep sleep. 7 perfect years just slipped by. Monty and Montana were now 8 years old. Charlie and Martha were getting quite old and not as able to walk the dogs as much as they used to, but it was fine. The twins were very happy. Every morning was the same. Monty and Montana would wake and dash upstairs to the bedroom to greet their guardians. Montana says, "Monty, are you awake yet? Let's go see Charlie and Martha." Charlie and Martha would wake up to wagging tails. Charlie says, "Good morning, Montana." Martha says, "Good morning, Monty. Did you two sleep well?" Charlie and Martha would then sit on the edge of bed and fuss at dogs. Then it was downstairs for breakfast. On this particular day, Charlie cooked some extra sausages. He knew that was a favourite for his dogs. Charlie says, "Do you like those sausages? Are they good?" Monty and Montana loved them, and Martha said, "They do love their sausages for breakfast, don't they?" She turned to Charlie and said, "So, Charlie, what shall we do today?" Charlie says, "Well, I thought we could take Monty and Montana out for a walk to a local park. Then maybe this afternoon we could visit the woods with them." Martha says, "Yes, that will be nice. The dogs would love that, I am sure. We can let them off lead to have a good run around." Charlie says, "They do like running and chasing each other around. I think we have 2 very happy dogs living with us, Martha." So, after breakfast, Monty and Montana, Charlie and Martha got ready for their walk to the park. On this day, the dogs wore their blue collars with gold name tags. The park was a short walk from the house. Monty and Montana walked very well on the lead. Martha was getting slower on her walks and often had to hold Charlie's arm. It didn't matter though, they had plenty of time. A short while after they arrived at the park, Monty and Montana were excited. They loved it here. The dogs were let off lead to have a run around. Then Charlie led Martha to a park bench. They would sit and watch the dogs have fun together. Monty and Montana took turns at chasing each other in circles. Monty said, "What a beautiful day, isn't it, sister?" Montana said, "It is, dear brother." Montana stopped running. She did a play bow to Monty and said, "Come on, Monty, catch me if you can." Charlie and Martha enjoyed watching the dogs play. They could get plenty of exercise at the park while Charlie and his wife could rest their weary legs sitting on the bench. Charlie said, "Isn't this lovely, Martha?" Martha says, "Yes, they have grown up to be 2 fine dogs. We couldn't wish for better. I love them both so much." Charlie says, "Yes, as do I," and he kissed Martha on the cheek. As the twins were running around, 2 other dogs wandered over towards them. Monty stopped his chase and called to his sister that they should go and greet the new dogs, as they had never seen them here before. Monty said, "Hello there." Montana says, "Nice to meet you." Dog 1 says, "Hello there, how are you doing?" Monty says, "We're doing good, thanks." Dog 2 says, "Hey there, you two. Looks like you are having a lot of fun." Montana says, "Yes, we love playing chase at the park. We come here nearly every day." Monty says, "I'm Monty." Montana says, "I'm his sister, Montana. Would you like to play chase with us?" After a while, the game ended. The dogs said their goodbyes and the twins returned to Charlie and Martha. Monty says, "Okay, Montana, it looks like it's time to go home. I am pretty tired now and could go with a nap." Montana says, "Yes, we can have a nice rest before our walk this afternoon." Charlie says, "Come on in, Monty and Montana. Let's go home." So the family left the park and took a slow walk back to their home. Monty and Montana were back on lead with Charlie and Martha holding hands. When they got home, leads and collars were removed and the dogs made straight for their water bowls. They were thirsty after all that chasing about. Then it was time for a snooze. It was time for the afternoon walk, but Martha was feeling very tired. Martha said to Charlie, "Dear, I feel so tired this afternoon. Would you mind walking the dogs alone? I think I need to rest." Charlie replied, "Yes, of course, Martha. You rest as you need. I will take care of the dogs." Later that afternoon, Charlie and Martha sat down on the sofa, with the dogs resting at their feet. Charlie says, "They had fun chasing squirrels in the woods, Martha. You should have seen them." Martha says, "Oh, they had fun. Just look at them." Charlie says, "How are you feeling now, dear? A little better, I hope." Martha says, "I will be fine. Don't worry about me. I was just a little tired, that's all." Charlie says, "Yes, I am not as young as I used to be. Maybe soon we will need some help to care for Monty and Montana. I find 2 walks a day very difficult now." The twins were having a lie down in front of a sofa. Monty said, "We have had a lovely day, Montana." Montana says, "Yes, we have, Monty." Monty says, "We have a great life here. We have been so lucky to find Charlie and Martha. They are very nice to us." Montana says, "They are, but I'm getting a bit concerned." Monty says, Why is it?" Montana says, "They are getting old now, and Charlie's legs are weak. I can sense it. Also, Martha smells funny. I don't think she's not well." Montana went on to say she was worried what might happen to them in the future. Monty says, "Yes, things may change for us all soon, so we might, Monty paused because he did not want to worry his sister that they may have to go back to the cages in rescue, so instead, he said, "Never mind. I'm sure we'll be fine." Montana says, "Well, we will always have each other, Monty." Then she cuddled into her brother, closed her eyes, and drifted off to sleep. Change was about to come to the household, and a lot sooner than anyone wanted. The next few months were not kind to Charlie and his family. Charlie's knees had become very sore. After a visit to the hospital, he was told he would have to use a wheelchair. Also, Charlie had started to forget things, simple but important things. Worst of all, Montana was right about Martha. She was ill, and tragically, in this time she died. Charlie was heartbroken, and the twins missed her so much. Charlie was having trouble looking after himself, let alone 2 dogs, so arrangements were made for him to move into a care home. Dogs would not be allowed there, so Monty and Montana would have to be rehomed. Charlie did not want the dogs to go into rescue kennels, so he called friends to see if anyone could take them. No one was able to take both, but he did know of 2 people that would take one each. Not only would Monty and Montana lose their home, but they would also lose each other. Charlie wanted to be with the dogs for as long as possible, so he arranged for his friends to take the dogs just before he was due to leave for the care home. Charlie was so sad, and he gently talked to his dogs to try to reassure them. Monty and Montana were both concerned over what their future may hold. Montana says, "Oh, Monty, I'm feeling sad that Martha's died and now Charlie's going away somewhere. What will happen to us?" Monty says, "I know, Montana. You know, the future can be a bit scary, but whatever happens, you will get used to it." At that point, Monty heard the doorbell ring. Charlie answered the door with Monty and Montana by his side. It was one of his friends that had come to take one of the dogs. Charlie's friend says, "Hello there, Charlie. How are you? I am so sorry to hear about Martha." Charlie says, "Thank you, but it's a difficult time for me. Are you sure you can't take both dogs? It would be really nice for them if they could stay together. Charlie's friend says, I'm so sorry, but we can only have one. What are their names? Charlie told him their names, and his friend looked thoughtful. After a while, he approached the dogs to make a fuss of them. The man turned to the twins and said, Hello there, Monty and Montana. Monty and Montana were getting very worried. It looked like this man had come to take them, but he only had one lead. Montana says, What's happening, Monty? Who is this man? Why has he only got one lead? She was worried that she could lose her brother. The man thought for a while to decide which one to take and said, I think I'll take Monty with me. Charlie says, That's okay. Montana's new owner will be here shortly. Charlie's friend put Monty on the lead and turned to leave. But Monty did not want to go. He pulled back towards his sister and Charlie. The man pulled harder on the lead and told Monty to come along. Monty started to panic as the man pulled him away. Montana's eyes were wide with fear. She called her brother. Monty, don't leave me! No! She howled. Charlie stroked her head and he started to cry. The man had Monty on the lead and pulled him away down the street. Monty was very anxious and looked back at Montana for the last time. Montana was terribly upset and she was howling after her brother. Charlie's friend says, It's going to be okay, Monty. We're going to have a great time together. Monty was in despair, but continued walking. About an hour passed and the man said they were almost home. Monty's mind was in a muddle. So much had changed in his life in such a short time he had lost everything he loved. He missed having Martha, but he could not do anything about that. He also missed his sister and Charlie, but maybe that was something he could change. Monty decided to escape and return to his family. Monty lets a lead go very slack. He took a deep breath, then turned and ran as hard as he could. The lead went tight, then snap! Monty was free. Monty ran as fast as he could and didn't look back. He had to get back to his sister and Charlie. The man called, Whoa! How did you do that? Then he called for Monty to stop and return. Then he gave chase. But he was too slow. He would never catch Monty. Soon the man gave up running. He looked at his broken lead and sighed. Monty ran and ran all the way to his home. He was so excited he would see his family again. Finally, he arrived on the street and ran to a front door. His heart sank. The house was empty. Charlie and Montana had gone. Monty was shocked. He had to find them. He sniffed the air to see if he could find which way they went. There were lots of smells in the air and some of them were very unfamiliar. But he thought he had an idea which direction his sister had gone. He would need to find somewhere to sleep and he would pick up a trail the next day. Monty left his home behind and headed out into a countryside. He needed shelter and water. Monty says, Where can I go? And when can I sleep? He searched for some time. It was getting late and he was very tired. It became very dark and it started to rain. Eventually, Monty found a little cave to squeeze into, and at the entrance there was a puddle he could drink from. As Monty was settling down for the night, he looked up at the sky. Monty thought of Martha in heaven. He also thought of his sister. At the same time, in a small house many miles away, Montana sat in her new home. She looked out the window and up at the same sky her brother was looking at. She missed him so much. Monty woke early in the morning. He felt a bit stiff as the ground was hard. He was thirsty, so he had a drink from the puddle at the entrance to his cave. He was feeling hungry as well, but there was no one to feed him. He would have to see what he could scavenge. Then his task today was to find a way to get back to Charlie and his sister, but he didn't really know how, as the smell of his sister had gone now. Monty was wandering through the countryside thinking about what he should do next when he saw some dogs chasing a pheasant. There was an Australian cattle dog. Later, Monty would discover his name was Reese. There was a Rottweiler called Brody, and a beautiful collie named Casey. Reese says, "Crikey, this is some crazy wild goose chase with these birds." Brody says, "I know, they're called pigeons, ha ha." Reese says, "I know they are, mate." Casey says, "Ha ha ha ha, that was amazing." Then she saw a dog walking towards them. She said, Guys, I see a dog approaching. He seems to be a German Shepherd." Brody says, "Is he lost?" Casey says, I think he is. Shall we see if we can help him?" Brody says, "Yeah, that's a great idea." Reese says, "Okay, mates, let's go." The dogs Monty saw were all strays. They didn't have homes, and they all lived together in the countryside. The stray pack walked up to see Monty. Casey says, "Hello there. Are you all right?" Monty looked at a dog who called to him and thought of his sister Montana. Casey said, "My name is Casey." Monty went to greet them. Monty says, "Hey there, I'm Monty." Reese says, "Good day, mate. I'm Reese. I am an Australian cattle dog." "Well, I am more dog than cattle, you know. That's just what they call my breed." Brody says, "Hiya, Monty. I'm Brody, and I'm a Rottweiler." Reese says, "Hey, mate, why don't you hang out with us for a while? We can teach you a few tricks to help you look after yourself. We have loads of fun. We go for walks and chase all the critters. There's all kinds of other stuff we do as well." Casey said, "So, Monty, may I ask you a question?" Monty says, "Yeah, of course you can." Casey says, "How did you get here? We have not seen you around before." Monty says, "Well, it's a long story." Brody says, "We have no plans for today, so go ahead and tell your story." Monty told the stories about his wonderful life with Charlie and Martha. Monty explained all the changes that came about that led to him escaping from Charlie's friend, and that now he just wanted to find his sister, but didn't know where to look. Brody says, "Oh my, that makes me so sad." Casey said, "Oh, Monty, that's terrible, but it's a good thing we found you. We may be able to help." Monty says, "Thanks. I hope things will turn out well." Casey said, "It will be fine, don't worry." Monty remembered his advice to his sister before they were separated. The future can be a bit scary, but whatever happens, he will get used to it. Monty felt good about his new friends. They seemed really nice. So, with his future uncertain, Monty joined with the stray pack. Later that afternoon, Monty still had not eaten. The pack were also feeling a little hungry. Casey said to Monty, "Have you ever tried fish?" Monty says, no, I haven't." "How did you get them?" Casey says, "We go all the way to a lake where there are fish swimming around. Come with us, we will show you." Monty says, "Okay, that would sound fun." So Monty went with the pack to the lake. When they arrived, Monty asked how they were going to catch fish and if they would have to swim. Casey said, "Yeah, Monty, we have to get wet, I'm afraid. It's the only way we can catch fish." Brody says, "Like this, Monty." Brody walked slowly into a lake, and he didn't want to scare the fish away. Then he said, "Come on in, guys. Nice and easy does it. The water's fine." The rest of the pack followed, and with encouragement from the strays, Monty followed them into a lake. Then Casey said, "Okay, to catch fish, you have to keep very still and look into the water. Sometimes fish swim between our legs. Then that happens as fast as you can. You dunk your head into the water and grab them with your mouth." Monty says, "Oh, okay." Casey grabbed one fish and made it look very easy. Then Reese grabbed another. Brody caught 3. He was good at fishing. Then it was time for Monty to try. He kept very still and waited. Soon he saw a big trout swim towards him. He waited and waited. Then as it swam past his front paw, he thrust his head into the water and felt his teeth close around the fish. He had done it! With the fish in his mouth, he mumbled, "I got it!" Casey says, "Well done, everyone. Let's eat." The pack found a place to sit next to the lake and started to enjoy the meal. Brody says, "These fish are so delicious." Reese says, "They are. The fish are good for our bones." Casey said, "So, Monty, how did you find fishing?" Monty took a bite of the fish and said, "This is good, and it was fun to catch them ourselves. I enjoyed it." Casey said, "Good. I'm pleased that you are having fun with us. I think it was a good thing that we found you." Monty says, "Yes, it was." Brody belched. "Excuse me." Reese says, "Crikey, mate, that was a noisy one." Brody says, "Thanks." Monty says, "Hey, Reese, Brody, are you enjoying your food?" Brody says, "Always 105%. Monty says, "That's good." Then he said to Casey, "You know, I really miss my sister and Charlie, but I don't know where to start looking for them. So, right now I have nowhere to go. I really like you, or would you mind if I stay with you? I think you are a great pack." Casey says, "That's nice of you, Monty, thanks. It would be lovely to have you as part of our pack." The pack chatted amongst each other as they finished their dinner. As it was getting dark, the pack took Monty to a place where they slept. It was very comfortable and in a well-sheltered spot. Reese says, "So, Monty, it looks like you had a nice day with us." Monty says, "Yeah, thanks, Reese." Brody says, "I knew you would like the fish." Monty says, "Yes, that was a very nice meal we had." Casey said, "So, Monty, did you know we go on walks every morning?" Monty says, "I used to have walks with Montana. It will be fun to go on a walk with you all." Brody says, "Yeah, walks are amazing, and it's a good time for us to look out for food." Monty says, "Are you going to the Midlands Park?" Brody says, "No, we start our walk in the woods, then we head out to a little village at the edge of the forest. Sometimes there are delicious scraps of food to be found." The dogs started to settle down to sleep and wished each other good night. Monty says, "If we find Montana, maybe she could join our pack as well." Monty closed his eyes and drifted off to sleep. As Monty slept, he began to dream. The dream started with Monty running in some hills covered in lush green grass. The sky was clear, the sun was warm and shone brightly. He felt so happy as he ran. Then the sun seemed to get bigger and brighter. Then a ball of light separated from the sun and started to descend towards Monty. As it got closer to him, he could see a shape inside the light. It was Martha. Martha says, "Hello, Monty. It's good to see you." Monty says, "Martha, is it really you?" Martha says, "I have been watching over you and Charlie. I know you miss your sister, so would you like to see Montana? I can show you her." "Montana?" Monty says. "Is she here?" Martha turned her head to where Monty stood. Monty was so happy to see his sister and dashed towards her. Monty says, "Montana, it's me. Monty, your brother. I've been trying to find you." Montana ran towards Monty and said, "Monty, it's you." The two of them frolicked in the grass, jumping and running around each other with tails wagging. Then they stopped running and just hugged each other. Monty says, "Oh, Montana, I have found you." Montana says, "I love you, brother." Just then, Montana and Martha faded away. As Monty slept, a tear rolled down his face. As the dream ended, Monty woke up. He felt strange. He was happy to have seen Montana and Martha, but he was also sad that they were not with him now. Monty didn't want to wake the others, and so he just quietly repeated the names of those he loved. "Oh, Montana, Martha, and Charlie." Then he drifted off to sleep again. That morning, the dogs all woke and greeted each other. It was a lovely sunny day, perfect for their morning walk. Monty stretched and yawned, then shook his fur. Casey said, "Good morning, Monty. Did you sleep well?" Monty says, "Yes, thank you. It was quite comfortable, and I had a lovely dream." Monty told a pack about his dream, then they all prepared for their walk. The first part of the walk took them to a large open field. Monty, Casey, Reese and Brody had fun chasing each other round. Casey said, "This place is amazing. I hope you like it." Monty says, "I do. Lots of room to run around and play." Brody says, "Hey guys, look at me. I can hop around like a bunny rabbit." Reese says, "Me too, mate. It's so cool. Ha ha ha." Monty smiled to himself. It had been some time since he had been so happy. The game of chase ended, and the dogs slowed to the walk. They were all panting and out of breath. Monty says, "Where are we going now?" Brody says, "Time to head out to the woods to see what we can find. Keep an eye out in the trees for squirrels." As they got closer to the woods, Monty heard crying. Monty says, Guys, I can hear something out there." Casey says, "Really? What is it?" Monty says, "I don't know. I will go and take a quick look. I'll be right back." Monty followed the sound of crying. As he got to the top of a small hill, he looked ahead and saw a little girl. She was alone and sitting down by the edge of the woods, weeping. Monty thought she may be lost. He would see if he could help. Little girl says, "Mommy! Daddy! Hoo-hoo!" She shouted through her tears, then stopped calling as she saw a large German Shepherd approach. Little girl says, "Hello, doggy." Monty smiled at the girl. Then the girl gave him a hug. Casey, Reese and Brody followed Monty and saw the girl hugging him. Casey said, "Oh my, she's lost." Brody says, "Yup, looks like it." Reese says, "Looks like Monty's got a pet human." Brody says, "Yeah, can we keep her?" Casey says, "What? No, we can't keep her. She needs to be with her parents." Monty knew what to do. He had a good sniff around the girl to get her scent, then tugged at the little girl's shirt, inviting her to follow him. They walked all around the woods with Monty's nose in the air sniffing. He knew the little girl's smell, and he was sure that her parents would have her scent on them. He just had to catch a whiff of it in the air. It didn't take him long. Soon he had the faintest of smells in the air, but he knew it was the right one, and he knew in which direction it was. Monty barked at the little girl. He wanted her to hurry up and follow him. Then Monty could hear voices calling. He was sure it must be her parents. They turned a corner, and sure enough, that they were. Monty turned to a child and smiled. She gave him a big hug and rushed off to her parents. Monty watched as the little girl ran. She said, "Mommy, Daddy, I found you." The girl's mum says, "My darling, we were so worried." The girl's dad says, "Hey, it's okay. You're safely back with us now." The girl and her parents hugged each other. The little girl says, "That nice dog helped me get back to you." The girl's mum says, "Oh, that was good of him." The girl's dad says, "Why don't you stay close next time?" Then she says, "I will." As they walked away, the girl looked at Monty one last time and smiled. Monty smiled back at her, then returned to his pack. Casey says, "Hey Monty, did you help that child?" Monty says, "Yeah, I managed to find her parents for her." Casey says, "That was really good of you, Monty." Later that same afternoon, Reese and Brody were having a walk around the woods near their den. Ahead of them, Hiding behind a large rock was a big hungry badger. The badger saw the dogs and thought they would make a nice dinner for him. He was so hungry his stomach let out a loud rumble. Reese and Brody heard the noise. Reese says, Brody, was that your stomach? You must be hungry, mate. Brody says, that wasn't me. Uh-oh. Reese says, what was it then? Look. That's when they saw the huge badger running at them. Ah! Run! The badger ran, chasing Brody and Reese. The two dogs ran and ran, but then turned into a dead end. Reese says, oh, that's not good. Brody says, looks like we're going to Rainbow Bridge together. Help! Casey heard the commotion and was nearby. As a badger got ready to attack Casey, who arrived just in time, blocked a badger, then the fight began. Brody says, Casey, thank goodness it's you. They watched a collie and the badger fight like two predators fighting over meat. Then the badger took a bite at Casey's neck and tore a chunk of fur away. Casey gave out a loud yelp. At that point, Monty arrived. Monty jumped on the badger, who was taken by surprise, and threw him to the ground. Monty barked and growled at him, warning him to stop. 4 dogs were too much for the badger, so it turned and ran away. Monty looked at the pack and said, is everyone alright? Casey says, yeah, I guess so. Thank you, Monty. You got here just in time. Reese says, good job, guys. Brody says, thanks. Me and Reese would have been badger snacks by now. Casey says, please be careful next time, you two. That evening, about 2 miles from Casey's den was a rocky outcrop. This is where a Doberman called Rocco lived with his pack. Rocco was a stray, but no ordinary stray. He was a devious pack leader. He would drift from stray pack to stray pack and make other dogs bend to his will. Rocco hated humans, and he didn't tolerate disobedience from other dogs. If he thought another dog may be stronger than him, he would turn other dogs against it. Rocco thought it was time to visit Casey, Reese and Brody. He wanted to make sure they were still willing to do things for him. Rocco stood on the edge of a rocky outcrop and said, well, I think it's time to pay a visit to Casey and her hounds. We will head out at dawn and meet them before their morning walk. I despise humans, as I heard that one of them helped a human puppy. I want to make sure they are not getting too friendly with humans. Stray Dog says, yeah, humans are stinky. Stray Dog 2 says, and hairless. Stray Dog 3 says, and they are a U and the G and the L and the Y. Stray Dog 4 says, let me guess, ugly. The strays laughed amongst themselves. Rocco says, be quiet. And yes, they are pathetic. And you know what I also hate? Stray Dog says, what's that, boss? Rocco says, dogs with rings on their necks. A symbol that humans control us. Stray Dog says, yes, boss. Those things can choke us as well. Ugh. I hate those things as well. Ugh. Rocco says, now listen up, you mangy, worthless pups. Casey and her friends will be seeing me tomorrow. I want to find out what's been going on. Now let's get some rest. Rocco and his pack settled down for the evening. That morning, Casey woke early and thought to stretch her legs. In the distance, she could see Rocco and his pack walking towards her den. Casey quickly returned to her pack and woke them. Casey says, guys, I saw Rocco and he's heading this way. Let's go out to meet him. Casey asked Monty if he wanted to come along. Monty says, yeah, I will come with you. Casey says, you'll have to listen carefully while we walk. Rocco never liked humans and he's not going to like your collar. Monty says, why is that? Is it because collars are put on us by humans? Casey says, Rocco never liked anything to do with humans, and do all of his pack. Rocco will want to meet you." The two packs of dogs met on a path near some rocks. Rocco says, "Well, well, it's Casey and her hounds, and it seems your pack has grown." Stray Dog 1 says, "What a scrumpy bunch!" Casey says, "Hi, Rocco. Yes, I wanted to introduce you to him. This is Monty. He's been with us for a few days now." "Ah, is that so?" Casey was starting to get nervous. She knew Rocco would notice Monty's collar, and his reaction would be bad. She went on to say, "He's a German Shepherd, and he's very nice." Monty walked up to a Doberman and said, "Hello, Rocco. It's nice to meet you." Rocco couldn't help but notice Monty's collar with his bright, shiny name tag on it. Rocco let out a low growl and said, "Is this the one that helped the human pup?" Then Casey said, "Oh, Rocco, you don't need to be upset with him over that. He didn't know. He's not been astray for very long at all." Rocco says, "Casey, you should have known better. You should have told him how I feel about stinking humans. Why is that thing still around his neck?" Casey says, "Well, I could maybe bite through it and take it off." Rocco says, "You should have thought of that before." Stray Dog 1 says, "Whoa, calm down, boss." Rocco turned to a dog and yelled at him, "Are you in charge of a pack?" Then the Stray Dog says, Nope, not at all. You're the leader, boss." Monty didn't want to lose his collar. It had been given to him by Charlie and Martha. Montana had a matching collar and it reminded him of her. Rocco, however, would not tolerate it. Also, when Rocco first saw Monty, he thought he looked powerful, which was another reason he did not like him. Rocco says, "Casey, you have allowed a traitor into your pack." Casey says, "What are you talking about, Rocco? He's no traitor. He's done nothing bad to us or to you." Monty says, "Yeah, you don't need to be upset with me. I have meant no harm." Rocco says, "Look at you. You don't belong here. You make me want to exile Casey and her puny little friends for this. You know that." And Monty says, "I don't understand why you are so cross with us." Rocco started walking and circling around Monty and said, "You know what, Monty? You're the one who came from the humans world, and guess what? You are pathetic." Monty says, "No, I'm not." Casey says, "Monty, don't listen to him." Rocco said to Casey, "Shut up!" And to his pack, "Humans are nothing but murderous beasts. They abuse us, they lock us up, and they deny us food." Then back to Monty, "And as for you, you don't belong here, and I am telling you to get out!" As Rocco shouted, he lunged at Monty, biting his left ear and knocking him to the ground. "Ah! Monty! Oh no! Crikey! Ow, my ear really hurts." Monty picked himself up and shook his head. Rocco had bitten through Monty's ear, and it now flopped down to one side. Casey says, "Monty! Oh no! Your ear!" "Oh, what's the matter? Can't you take a hit? Come on, Monty, get up. I am not finished with you yet." Monty became angry and charged at the Doberman. Rocco moved quickly out of the way and lunged at Monty's neck with his teeth. The two packs of dogs looked on, watching the fight between Rocco and Monty. Monty turned his head away from Rocco, avoiding his bite, and slammed his body into Rocco's shoulder. Rocco was knocked backwards, but quickly lunged at Monty again. This time, he tried to jump on Monty's back. Monty fell to the floor, and Rocco tried to pin him to the ground by placing his paw on Monty's head. Then Rocco whispered in Monty's ear, "Now I'll put you to an end, you human lover." Rocco bared his teeth and went to bite Monty's neck, but Monty broke free, and as Rocco's paw slipped off his head, Monty saw his chance. He bit hard into Rocco's leg. Rocco fell backwards and yelped, "Ah!" For the third time, Rocco lunged at Monty. This time he tried to push him off the rocky outcrop. Once again, Monty spun around and hit Rocco hard with his hip. This sent Rocco flying towards the edge of a rock. Rocco started to slip off the edge. He hung on with the claws scraping on the rock. Monty was shocked to see Rocco hanging onto the edge of the rocks. He really didn't want to hurt him. Monty says, "Rocco, hold on! Grab is fine, and I will pull you back up." Rocco says, "I'll tear you apart for this!" Monty says, "Rocco, please, come on. I'll help you." Monty tried to save Rocco, but before he could do anything, his grip on the rock slipped, and he fell. Ah! The Doberman fell to the ground below. He landed with a thump and knew he had injured his leg. Monty looked down in horror. He never wanted this. He turned and looked at Casey in shock. Casey says, "Monty, are you okay?" Monty says, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this." Casey says, "It's okay, Monty. You had to defend yourself and the fall was just an accident. Rocco should not have attacked you." Reese says, "You won, Monty. Good on you, mate." Monty says, "Yes, I suppose I did." Rocco was in pain, but he staggered to his feet. As he looked up, he saw a badger looking straight back at him. The badger was not alone, and they all looked hungry. Rocco growled a warning at the badgers, showing them his teeth. The lead badger was not deterred. He sprung at Rocco and attacked. Rocco swung his paw at the badger and knocked him to the ground. Then the others attacked. There were too many for Rocco, especially as he was injured. Rocco was fighting for his life, but this was a fight he could never win. Rocco was never seen or heard of again. Monty was distressed by the whole event. Monty sighed. "I'm sorry, guys. I tried my best to help him, but he just wouldn't let me." Rocco's pack had never seen him defeated in a fight before, and so were now very wary at Monty. Stray Dog 1 says, "Whatever, we're leaving, come on guys." Stray Dog 2 says, "I'm with ya." Stray Dog 3 says, "We need another leader now." Rocco's pack turned and went their separate ways, leaving Casey, Reese, Brody, and Monty alone. Casey says, "Don't worry about them. They're not a problem without Rocco." With Rocco gone, Casey thought that she could be their new leader, and the two packs could join as one. If she were the pack leader, if they ever found another lost dog, they would offer help to return them to their owners or welcome them to join the pack, so they would never be lonely or lost again. Late that afternoon, the pack went for a walk to try and cheer up Monty, who was still feeling down over what happened to Rocco. Monty says, "There was nothing else I could do, I think." Casey says, "I know, Monty. You have a good heart. Look what you did yesterday." Monty says, "Yes, I wanted to help that little girl, and it made me so happy to see her back with her parents." Casey said, "How's your ear now, Monty?" Monty says, "It's still sore and very floppy. It won't stand up like the other one." Casey says, "Well, I think it makes you look cute." Casey was telling her friends how she thought she could unite the two packs and offer help to other dogs that became strays. Reese says, "Hey guys, I just saw something moving in those bushes." Monty heard some voices, then Casey saw a man with a net and shouted, "Monty, look out!" Monty saw the man and he tried to run away, but it was too late. Monty was caught in a net. "No!" cried Casey. Reese and Brody ran off to hide. They didn't want to get caught. Another man appeared and together they dragged Monty towards a van. They opened the net and slipped a noose around Monty's neck and bundled him into a van. As the van drove away, all Monty could do was look out of the window as his friends disappeared. For the second time of his life, he had lost everything. The van drove all the way to a dog pound. Then the men got Monty out of the van and took him inside the building. Inside the pound, Monty saw other dogs all caged, and they were whimpering for their owners to come for them. Dog warden says, "There you go, you'll be all right." The man put Monty into one of the cages. He slipped a noose from around his neck, then closed a cage door. Then he turned and left. Monty felt lonely and very afraid. Poor Monty was locked in the pound. He was with lots of other dogs, who were all sad or afraid. Some dogs were whimpering and shaking. One dog just howled. It was a sad, desperate howl. This place was dark, and it felt very bad. Monty said to himself, "How did this happen? I should have gone away. Now my friends will miss me, and I will never get to find my sister." The caged dog one says, "I miss my family too." Monty heard the dog saying something and looked at him. "You do?" "Yes. I went to a park with my family. They took my collar off, then they got in the car and drove away. It must have been a mistake, but I know they loved me. I ran but couldn't keep up. Then a man with a net called me and brought me here." Caged dog 2 says, "I miss mine too, but I have been trying to dig my weight out with my claws. But the ground is hard and now my paws hurt." Monty says, "I need to get out of this place. It's horrible here." Caged dog 1 says, "If you are lucky, you might get chosen. Sometimes families come here to look at us, and if you get chosen, you go away with them. I think you get a new home." Caged dog 2 says, "If you have been for a while and you don't get chosen, the man in a white coat comes for you. He's very scary and he smells funny. The dogs that he takes away we never see again." Monty gasped and said, "Oh no, I can't do this. I want to go home. I really do." Caged dog 2 says, "Don't worry, buddy. If I could just dig my way out, you could come with me and get back to your friends." Monty told the caged dogs all about his friends and the adventures he had with them. Caged dog 1 says, "Wow, that sounds wonderful." Caged dog 2 says, "I'd like to join them if I dig my way out." Monty says, "That would be great. Well, I guess I need some rest now." The dogs settled down and tried to sleep. The dog in the corner just howled. The next morning, the dogs woke and were hopeful that they would have visitors, and that maybe they would be chosen, but no one came. The following day, the only visitor they had was the man in the white coat. He took the howling dog. The dog did not want to go and crouched down in the back of his cage. The white coat man put a noose around his neck and pulled him out. The howling dog was led away, whimpering. Later that day, another dog arrived and was put in the howling dog's cage. Later that day, October 19th, 2014, Monty said, "Well, I have a feeling this is going to be a good day for all of us." Caged dog 1 says, "I hope so. I have been here a while. I don't want the white coat man to take me. All we have to do, if we get visitors, is bark to get their attention." When Monty was taken into a pound, German Shepherd Rescue were informed in the hope they could find a home for him before his time ran out. Monty came to the attention of a rescue volunteer called Ken Robson. "That's my dad." Ken spoke to his wife Jo, and they decided they could help. Ken drove to a pound in his Mitsubishi truck along with Max, another of Ken and Joe's rescue shepherds. Dog pound officer said, "Hello there. You must be Mr. Robson. You have come to see Monty, is that right?" My dad says, "Yes, I'm here to pick up Monty." Dog pound officer says, "Oh, okay. Follow me. Let's go take a look at him." Ken says, "I brought Max along with me. He's good with other dogs, and I thought it may help put Monty at ease." Dog pound officer says, "Hello, Max. How are you?" Ken and Max follow the officer to Monty's cage. She says, "There he is. Let me know if you want to adopt him, and he's all yours. Monty and Ken saw each other for the first time. Monty looked a little afraid. Ken said, "Hey Monty, how you doing?" Monty barked in reply. Then Max saw Monty and said, "Hello Monty. My name is Max. You are coming home with us and we're going to have a wonderful time together. So don't worry. You will be the fourth dog in Ken's pack, and we all have a lovely life. We go on woodland walks twice a day, we have great food, and a nice big garden to play in." Monty says, "Hey Max, that sounds lovely. I can't wait to get out of here." Monty felt that Ken was a nice man and so decided to trust him, and Max seemed really kind. Ken spoke with the dog pound officer and told him he would take Monty. So Monty and his new guardian Ken and his new best friend Max got into a truck and drove away. Monty looked out of the window at the kennels and hoped the caged dogs would get chosen, but all he saw was White Coat Man walking towards the cages. Ken took Monty all the way to Nottingham. Monty's new life was about to begin. He had a loving family and a pack he could call his own. Monty would be very happy in his new home. Well, that was a great read-along. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and have a good night.